This meeting is being recorded.
मैसेज Hey, how are you, Madhur? So I saw you posted something. You are building some app.
Yes, it's basically a process automation app, I would say. कि like
Mm-hmm.
उसमें उसमें
Okay,
हम
interesting.
AI टास्क ऑटोमेशन लाइक
Okay,
Zapier
okay.
के बारे में अगर आप जानते होंगे तो इट्स मोर
हाँ,
लाइक अ
Zapier.
Zapier बट
Mm-hmm.
Zapier में क्रॉस प्लेटफॉर्म करते ज़्यादा होता है, हम क्रॉस प्लेटफॉर्म नहीं कर रहे हैं और वी आर मोर लाइक एआई के जितने भी टास्क है उसको ऑटोमेट करने का ट्राई कर रहे हैं। तो इसमें हम लोग फिलहाल मल्टीपल एपीआईज यूज करने वाले हैं कि लाइक इमेज जनरेशन के लिए आई गेस इसका मिड जर्नी का एपीआई यूज करेंगे, फिर बेसिक एआई वाली चीजों के लिए चैट जीपीटी या फिर जेमिनाई का एपीआई यूज करेंगे वैसे करेंगे। तो
Mm-hmm.
बेसिकली इट्स माय करेंटली इट्स इन अ फाइनल ईयर प्रोजेक्ट फेज, बट इसको हमें आगे डेवलप करने का भी प्लान किया है, तो ऐसा सीन है।
So like all the interfaces आपके एक सिंगल इंटरफेस में लेकर आ रहे
करेक्ट करेक्ट।
हैं। तो अच्छा, ऑलमोस्ट हाँ, सब सब ऑलमोस्ट सब यही कर रहे हैं ना। तो लाइक मेन टास्क क्या रहेगा उसका? मेन फंक्शनैलिटी क्या है ऐप की है?
मेन फंक्शनैलिटीज अगर आपको बेसिक फंक्शनैलिटीज अगर बताऊं, मतलब फिलहाल फेज वन में हम क्या कर रहे हैं, तो फेज वन में फॉर एग्जांपल अगर आपको बहुत वेग एग्जांपल दूं लेमन लैंग्वेज में, तो लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल आपको कोई एक कंपनी है जिसको अपने सारे एम्प्लॉयज के सोशल मीडिया का प्रोफाइल जनरेट करना है, ठीक है। तो प्रोफाइल का फॉर एग्जांपल प्रोफाइल पिक्चर एक जैसी होनी चाहिए। सो व्हाट दे
हम्म,
कैन डू इज कि लाइक सबके इमेजेस एक बार में डंप करो इस प्लेटफॉर्म पे, और उसके बाद लाइक विद द नोड्स एंड बिट्स वो कनेक्ट करेंगे। लाइक फर्स्ट दे विल ड्रैग एंड ड्रॉप ऑन टू द कैनवस फॉर अपलोड इमेज, एंड देन दे विल ड्रैग एंड ड्रॉप फॉर इन द कैनवस फॉर लाइक remove background, and then the next they will drag and drop uh, like the function of well, let's say uh, like एक कोई task like remove background, replace background with some solid color।
हम्म,
तो ये तीनों चीज और इसके बाद गेट मी अ डाउनलोडेबल लिंक, तो ये चारों चीज मतलब एक बार में हो जाएंगी सारे इमेजेस के लिए। तो ये बेसिकली
हम्म,
टास्क ऑटोमेशन की एक एक करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ रही है, एक बार में ही सारे हो जा रहे हैं। तो ये फिलहाल
हम्म,
आइडिया है।
अच्छा
तो
अच्छा।
इसी पे हम काम ये मैंने आपको एक ही एग्जांपल दिया कि लाइक और भी दूसरे टास्क हो सकते हैं इस चीज को करने के लिए।
अच्छा अच्छा, बहुत अच्छा है वो। नाइस
थैंक यू।
नाइस। हाँ, नजमुद्दीन कैसे हो?
शायद मैं आपके से
ओके, ठीक, हाँ, ठीक है, ठीक है। तो ठीक है, स्टार्ट करेंगे आज का सेशन। तो ओके, सो टैब्ल्यू में हमको वी हैव certain products in Tableau. For example, here you can see we have Tableau desktop, Tableau server, Tableau cloud, and Tableau next. Okay, so ये एक है डेस्कटॉप जहां पर हम लोग ये डाउनलोड करके इंस्टॉल करके ऑल विजुअलाइजेशंस एंड डैशबोर्ड्स वगैरह बनाते हैं ना, ये है डेस्कटॉप वर्जन टैब्ल्यू का। सर्वर वर्जन पे हम लोग क्या करते हैं, वंस वी बिल्ड ऑल द विजुअलाइजेशन विल पब्लिश दैट onto the server. Okay, so this is our desktop version, Tableau desktop. Okay, and this is Tableau server. So whatever we build on Tableau desktop, we will publish onto the server. So why do we publish? There are various reasons. So once we publish, we will be able to share across the organizations with different teams, and we can schedule it on the Tableau server for refresh. For example, I have used my SQL server as a data source to build this view. For example, I use SQL server to build this view, but my data has to be refreshed also every day. So now you can see we added data through 3/15/2025. That means today it's refreshed, but we have to have this data refreshed every day. So for that, what do? We schedule to be refreshed. Okay. So those kind of capabilities we get on the server, and not only we, like all the Tableau users. So there may not be one, like there will be many Tableau users in the organization. So they all can collaborate. So on the site, we will have permission, we will have sites, different sites. So based on in which department you are, you can create that particular site. You can restrict who can have access, who cannot have access, and you have refresh capabilities. You have monitoring, like what are the data sources we have. Like for example, uh, Nazmuddin developed one data source which others can also use. So he can publish that data source to the server. So now other people, other users, they don't have to publish this data source once again. So this data source, it's on there. Let's say it's published on the server. So what others will do, they'll reuse it. They'll connect to this data source and build their dashboards on top of this. Okay. So collaborating and reusability and monitoring, all those will come in handy when we use Tableau server. Okay, so for now we'll not use Tableau server because to install Tableau server you require a lot of RAM and all those to set up onto your system. So we'll see desktop version. Okay. Yep. So I have shared you one GitHub repo. Okay. So this is the GitHub repo. We'll go through it one by one. Okay, it's already open here. Okay. So in first chapter, we have measures and dimensions. So one of the most important thing in Tableau is measures and dimensions. Like we have data type in SQL, right? So similarly, in building a dashboard or visualizations, we need to identify what are the measures that we want to use, what are the dimensions we want to use. Okay. So if you see here with the hash symbol, so discount is a number. So all the numbers will automatically, so once we connect to a data source in Tableau, all the numbers will automatically be considered as a measure. So how do we connect to data source? When you click add in the data source, or once we open Tableau, you can go to data, say new data source, and just connect to Excel or CSV. So we have lot of options here, similar to what we have seen in Alteryx. Right? See here also we have lot of options. So if you want to connect to CSV, I can say text file, and I can go to my folder here. Hmm. So see, I have connected to our data source. So once I connect to data source, we go to I can go and create worksheets and dashboards. So in the interface, you have worksheets in the extreme right, bottom right. You can see you have this option creating worksheets, and there is one more option called creating dashboards, and there is one more option called creating story. So that you have here also. You can create on the top left new worksheet. You can click new worksheet. This is the canvas that you can see, and you can create new dashboard. Okay. So dashboard is collection of worksheets that we create. So each worksheet is one view, and you can create new story. Story is will be a combination of worksheets as well as dashboard. Okay. Okay. So let's see what are measures and dimensions. So all the numbers on which you can do some maximum, minimum, all those aggregations, that will be measures. So in by default, when once you add this data source, we have added this data source. So Tableau will recognize that measures and get separate this in the measures section, and it recognized dimensions and separated it here. Now one more thing you can notice, we have latitude, longitude data types also. So in a location based columns, fields are there in our uh, data source. For example, in Superstore, let's if we have some city or something. So by default, intelligently Tableau will uh, create that latitude and longitude for those address fields. Okay, and you can also notice that some of them, like customer ID, it's not no kept under measures. So customer ID, since it's not a measurable value, we don't count it. So that's why it didn't put it here. But what we can do, if we want, like if we want some of the fields needs to be put in measures, so we can just drag it, and it will be considered as measure names, measure values. But if we see that, okay, it's not a measure, I I want to keep this as dimension only, then I can just drag it and it will be in the dimensions. Hmm. Okay. So measurable values like sales here. So I can drag sales and see its color is green, and I will have option to aggregate sales or measure value. So into some average, median, count distinct, minimum, maximum, all these aggregations are there. So I can quickly do uh, on fly aggregate on measure value. So now I have this dimension value region. So for dimension values, we'll have only these kind of aggregations, maximum, minimum, but mostly we'll not do it. Sometimes we might have to use it based on the type of visualization we are doing it. So dimension is recognized in blue pill. It's a blue and measure is green. Okay, so you can interchange these their location in columns or rows anywhere. Okay, so this was regarding measures and dimensions. Next, moving on to next, you can prepare a simple sales by department view. Just now you can drag sales on rows and department on column. Now you can swap it so that way it's horizontally displayed on the canvas. Now same thing, if you want to add multiple levels before the department, if you want to see a region, so this is how it was. Now we can add a region to see more granular view, and we can search it here also. If you are not able to find something, we can search it, just add region. So this our bar chart is at two levels. So one is at region level and one is at department level. So this is central furniture, this how much, central office supplies, central technology. So that's how it's displayed. So now we have bar stack chart. So how do we prepare bar stack chart? So we have sum of sales on the columns and department on the rows. So now I'll add a region to colors. So that way it will create my bar stack chart. So based on this color, this is south region, orange is east, blue is central. This is how we can recognize it. So next we have um, sales over time. Okay, so this is time series data. So where we want to see how much sales happening over a period of time. So here you can see on the bottom we have 2017 until 2020. So we have data from 17 to 20. So I will remove this. And so if you drag sum of sales onto the rows, overall sale, this is how it shows. Now I want to see continuous sales over time. So what I need to use is date, a date field. So I can drag order date onto the columns. It will show me overall sales. Now uh, I will use this option. I'll say quarter Okay. So once I use this, this will expand. So it will drill down into the quarter level. So now we can see numbers at the quarter level. And you remember, like we discussed about creating dimension tables, right? So one of the dimension tables will be time dimensions in data warehouse. But with Tableau, we don't have to do all of that because it gives lot of options. You can see here, just just to the date, I can modify date with year quickly in the quarter, and in the day wise I can see a day wise, and I can see week using week wise weekday, or I can see quarter wise, month wise. So I have so many options here. If not, I can see exact date. So this exact date is like every day. So it will show you a lot of details. Okay. So it's like two measures. We are comparing exact every day how much is the sale. Okay. So now here you can see this is what we have, sales over time. So now if you want to see sales over time by region, now we can add region to colors. Now you can see, like for each region, what is the sales for each quarter over the period of time. You can see red is south. It's bit scrambled. So we can use different view to showcase it properly. But this is just a sample, like how it displays over time and segregation of regions. Okay. Now next we have sales over time by category. Now let me remove this category. So this is our sales over time for each quarter. Now I want to see, now I want to drill down at category level. What I will do, I will add category here. So that will show me sales over time for each category. So for category from 2017 till uh, 2020 Q4, how was the overtime sales during this period of time? So I can quickly identify that 2019 Q4 was highest sales for bookcases. So I can see the trends here. I can scroll down and see the trends here. Okay. Now, similarly, initially I showed you, right? So once we have city, state information, Tableau will automatically bring latitude and longitude data type. So here, so once we add state, so let me do one thing. I'll remove some of cells here. Okay. So this is our map. This is a map. So on the map, there is nothing here. So let's say I want to add sales to see like how the sales are going on based on location. So now it doesn't show me anything. If I add states into the detail, now it shows me like this data is focused on United States, and in United States we are looking at some of sales for each of these states. So in the map visualization, so right now this is how it is. I can just zoom in and use some of the tools to adjust here. So this is how it shows. Now I can add labels if I want. It will show me. So to add labels, I press Control on my keyboard and I pick this same sum of sales and I dropped it here on the label. So that way easily it will put the label names onto the map. If you want to remove it, just hold this and drop it down. So you can see cross mark. Yes, it will remove it. So this is how quickly you can create all those views. Now same thing we have. We are seeing more. We are going into more detail of the state. Like we are seeing at postal codes how many sales happening at postal codes. What are those cluster areas where my sales are happening a lot in specific to postal codes? So for that, so we have some of, okay, so it's by profit. Sorry. So we are seeing now like what are my profit areas? Like where is my profit coming from? What is that location? So what I will do, I'll pick this profit measure and put it onto the colors and state onto the details. So it's bringing me all these. So here you can see this is a summarized view. Now I can see what are the areas where my profit is going down. So here you can see this is highlighted in red. So the minus one is in red and the dark blue is in uh, highest profitable area. So now if I want to drill down, I'll add postal code. So instead of state, I will say postal code into the details. So now I can see what are those. Now it's still not that much recognizable. So what I will do, I'll add state to the size. Okay, it's it looks like some noise. Okay, I'll go back to the original visualization. Okay, so we are seeing against sales, not state. Okay, okay, got it. So we are seeing profit as well as uh, sales in each postal code. Okay, yeah. So we are able to see at this postal code, this how much sales I'm getting, and this is the profit. So you are able to quickly identify those cluster areas. Okay. So now moving on to the next. Okay, before I move on, here you can see on the right side, the minus is labeled as negative profit, and the dark blue is labeled as positive. And here also you can see the shapes. Lowest shape means less sales, and highest shape size means uh, the higher sales. Okay. Okay. So next we have uh, identifying the density of orders. Like where are those cluster areas where a lot of orders are coming, to me. So this is how I can. So let's say this is our automatic. Now here comes the um, marks. Okay, so I drag details onto the map. So it shows me all these dots. Okay, so now I have an option to use marks to change into square or pie chart something. But here I am interested in density. So I'll use density marks. So that will show me like what's the density of my order. So basically you can consider it's counting number of orders. So if you see in a SQL perspective, it will show you select count of orders from this table where postal code is 01810. So this is how it means like, so since all of them are located together, so it created a density like one which are closer together. So Tableau has some, you know, all those algorithms inside it that will calculate the um, visualization, properly create the visualization on the fly and help us identify the density for the postal code which are located together and which have more sales. So it automatically created a density for us. Okay. So let's see what we have next. Okay. So in show me option on the top right side, you have show me option. So here you have a lot of, predefined visualizations which we can use. Let me open it here. So once I drag these two into columns and rows, so you can see a lot of options have been enabled. So this is a cross tab. So once I hit this, my data is combined into a small cross tab. So similarly, I can use this option. This is another visualization, and this is another some heat map type visualization. So this is a pie chart. This is bar chart. This is stacked bar chart, and this is heat maps. Now having circles here, cluster like this is box plot and bubble charts. All these options. So with show me option, you can quickly create this. But generally uh, for our projects, we don't use automatic charts because it's restricted. It has some restrictive capabilities. Like once you click on this, so it brought all into one stack bar. Now, if you have an idea like how to expand it, it's good. But there are some times we don't want to use these predefined charts. So if you have a need, you can use it. Otherwise, we can ignore it. So once you hover over this show me, it will show you how many dimension and how many measures you can use. So here see, defaultly we can use one dimension and one measure. In the bottom, you can see here, right? One dimension, one measure. One dimension or one or two measures for bubble chart. Or for heat map, one dimension, one or two measures you can use. So all these details it will give you for quick uh, analyzing all these, like what all you can use. So finally, so whatever we had, like what all visualizations pieces we had, we combined it into one dashboard. So how do we create this dashboard? So once I click on this create new dashboard, so I have this option here, create new dashboard. So I will add those pieces here. So that way my dashboard will be created. So simple. So very simple. So first we have sales by department. So I will say sales by department. I'll add it here. So next we have sales over time. Sales over time. Next we have map, postal code. So now after drag and drop, can adjust it, and here we have an option to fit width, fit height, fit entire view. So whatever options you see it best fits the dashboard, you can use it. So if you want this, you can keep it, or else we can remove it, or if you want to move it around, we can move it. Yes. Yeah. So combining all these visualizations, our dashboard is created. Okay. So similarly, in the GitHub repo, we have all these chapters. Chapter 2, 3, all these we have. So you can go through one by one, and till you end chapter 17. Or there are no examples. Okay, till chapter 16 we have. Yeah. So till chapter 16, you have lot of examples, different data sets. So now in one we had this superstore. Second, you also have superstore. So this is a starter website. This is a complete website. So you can use this starter website and complete those exercises, whatever is discussed here, and then compare with the complete webs. Now, no, TWX file. This is Tableau extension file, so that you will get a fair idea of what all you can do with Tableau, what are its capabilities. Chapter 9, real estate, superstore, testing predictions, world population. Okay. Okay. Any questions?